Hello guys, and welcome to a new segment I'm starting to call What You Should Be Watching. So, coming forward, I'm going to be doing this set of series where I talk about things that I believe you should be watching. Sometimes, if I can get a camera, I'm going to have multiple people here discussing things like their favorite movies or other movies that you should be watching. So stay tuned for that, but for today's episode, numero uno, we're going to talk about anime. At this very moment, I have been watching several different sets of anime using Crunchyroll's app on the PlayStation 4, which you can watch anime on there with ads, which I would suggest you do, or to subscribe to their channel. Subscribing to the Crunchyroll specifically gets you everything up to date, simulcast from when they're actually there in Japan to here. They have a wide range of anime titles, as well as some live action Japanese shows as well, which is pretty good. But the one I'm watching several ones right now that have a grand theme, which has been fantasy. I've been really into fantasy anime lately, which is, a lot of this stuff's really cool. On Crunchyroll right now, which you can probably find on any other anime site that you've got that you really enjoy, I would suggest Overlord. Overlord is up to 3 seasons right now. It is basically about a guy who logs into an MMORPG as his character on the last day of the game's existence. They're going to be shutting down the game completely, and he's there at the end of it. He's waiting for all of his friends, but none of them really show up. So in the game world, it's like a VR thing. He's basically seeing through his character's eyes or whatever, and he's a giant. He's a lich lord, basically one of the most strongest lich lords in the game at that point. And he falls asleep while the game closes down. And when he wakes up, he's still in the game as his avatar, this immensely powerful lich lord, but the game is running like it's real life. He has all of his NPCs that him and his friends created in this MMO before it shut down. Really interesting characters. And basically, it's him taking over this entire world that has now become real. The animation is very crisp, very smooth, very clean. The dialogue is very funny and interesting as well. And the action is top-notch, if you ask me, for the type that it is. Each arc ends on a not so much of a cliffhanger, but like an ending of a storyline for him. I would honestly rate it about 7 out of 10. I want more. I want to see more observations between the real world and this new world. I want him to be able to find other people that are from the real world that may have gotten caught, not just him, which would be interesting. Followed along that line, I've been watching How I Got Reincarnated. No, that time I was reincarnated as a slime monster. Same basic premise, just a little bit different. Guy is basically a loner virgin in a dead-end job, is invited out one day with his kohai, which is somebody who's younger than him at a company that he works for. Basically his best friend there, to meet his girlfriend. And while they're out, some crazed maniac comes running at them with a knife. So him, being the person that he is, pushes his friend out of the way and takes the dagger blow and dies. But while he's dying, some weird computerized voice comes on and basically tells him, starts saying these weird things like, oh, you get this sort of ability, this sort of power, this sort of thing. What would, things like that. And he starts naming off things that he would rather do if he had a chance to become alive again. And when he wakes up, he's someplace he doesn't know, and he's a slime, like from Dragon Quest. All he is, like a liquid slime, in a cave filled with crystals and monsters. And he's trying to figure out what he can do. Come to find out, he is the most powerful slime in the entire world. He has an ability that he created called Predator that comes with him that allows him to swallow something whole with his slime body and able to analyze the creature, item, mineral, whatever it is that he swallows whole, and allows him to analyze it and replicate it, mimic it, can use its abilities, and it just goes from there. It's only a couple of episodes in, still on the first season. Animation is very clean. It's really funny. Absolutely hilarious. Just the sort of things that they do in it, it makes me laugh. And it's really cute, too. So it's not really heavy on a lot of the stuff that goes on, except for the first episode where he dies. But it's fun. It's fun. Something you can watch with everybody who doesn't even like anime, who likes fantasy and that sort of situation. So I would advise that. At this moment, I'm giving that an 8 out of 10, just because of the fact of the characters are a little bit, I don't know, a little bit better than Overlord in my opinion. The storyline seems to be a little bit cooler. The character has a little bit more powers than Overlord does, and can manipulate it in a smarter fashion. Now, number 3, the third one that I've been watching lately, it's really heavy. Specifically the first episode. It's called Goblin Slayer. Goblin Slayer is another fantasy about this guy who is single-minded in his pursuit of killing goblins. That's it. First episode is about a girl who's a fresh adventurer. Chimed into the Adventurers Club, only has the smallest ranking, which is a porcelain, which it goes in different rankings as you go up. And she collects a task to go hunt goblins with these other newbies. Well, they go to this place where the goblins are. It's a small cave. They get lost, and they get slaughtered horribly, graphically, by goblins. She is the only one that really survives. And he, the Goblin Slayer, namesake of the show, comes in because he kills goblins. Wasn't expecting to find her there or anybody else. And murders every single goblin that comes in contact with him. It's like this one is not funny. Like, it has some funny moments, but it's not meant to be very funny. It's very stoic. In a lot of its cases, the main character it's so stoic for him that it makes things funny around him. Because he has a singular mind, all he wants to do is destroy goblins. He's a silver level adventurer that only takes on goblin quest. And when you find out through the course of the anime, or the manga if you're watching this, because all of these are mangas as well, why he has that singular focus, it's kind of sad. It's really heavy. But the story in itself is really well done. The art style is very gritty in nature, but it has a great aesthetic filled in with lots of dark fantasy sort of areas. And it's really interesting. So if you're watching anime, if you have Crunchyroll, if you have a way to watch specific animes, and you would like to check out the things that I've talked about, please do. Comment down below what type of animes that you like to watch. What is your favorite anime? I would like to get to a point to where we can discuss what your favorite anime, your favorite show, your favorite video game, what you should be watching that you tell to everybody else. Because everybody's different. On that last note, I'm going to tell you about a manga right now that I really, really enjoy as well. It's actually a manhwa from Korea. It's a webtoon that he's been doing for a very long time. It's called The Gamer. Basically, the world has an invisible underbelly they call the Abyss, which is filled with human beings that have special powers. And there are still monsters and everything else, but those monsters are hidden from the regular world by the will of Gaia, the Earth, that separates the two. But she still allows people to have powers. And the main character somehow ends up with special powers based on video games. And it's his course through the abyss using all these powers that are based on like an MMO sort of thing or an RPG sort of thing, which is really interesting. The story's really good. The progression of characters is really good throughout the long standing of the series, which I think is at 251 chapters right now. Is really good. It's funny. It starts off really hilarious. But as it's gone on, it's gotten more somber. The tone has changed just a little bit because he has grown up. The main character has grown up. The progression of the show, of the manga, has grown up. You should really check that out. If you're into reading manga or have a way to read it online, which is what I do, please, it's great. You won't be disappointed. So I'm going to try to make this a weekly thing and go over lots of things because I am a big movie, anime, video game buff. If you couldn't tell, I'm a huge nerd. So hopefully you guys will stick around. Please like, subscribe, tell me what you want in the comments. Tell me what your favorite anime is, what your favorite manga, manhwa, movie is, and we can discuss it the next time. I would love to sit down and have discussions with people. And that's what this is all about. Not just me, it's about you. Until next time, I'll see you.